All right, what's up? What's up, y'all? So, was having some difficulties before. I'm gonna actually resend the invite to Mr. Michael uh, Peeples. That way we can get the show on the road. Because before, for some reason, the live was not going on. Uh, eh, how you figure that? So anyway, just gonna wait for him to arrive, and then we're gonna get this party started. So, and again, sorry for the late start. We actually were on, but again, the live was just not working. So yeah, the live is not working. I sent him the email. He will be joining soon. There he is. All right. Okay. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the channel. Double A have here presenting the Truth Scope. I have live
Yes.
remotely Mr. Michael Peeples, self-published author of Sink or Swim, and I have my copy. Do you have yours? That's the question. Do you have
Yes.
your copy? So, obviously, Mike has been on the show before. He is not new here. He and I spoke at great length before. You can definitely check out that video. It's still up on YouTube. But today is all about Sink or Swim. So I'm going to give Mike the floor, allow him to briefly introduce himself before we get into this.
Yes. Once again, thank you for having me. It's definitely a pleasure being here. My name my name is Michael Peeples. I am the founder of BU and Prosper LLC. I am also a youth speaker. I recently published my first book ever called Sink or Swim. Are You Washing Your Dreams Away? I'm excited for this. I believe this is a game changer. It's a timeless read. One thing I'm not going to do is waste anyone's hard earned money or time. I set the bar high for myself. So if I definitely wouldn't have written this book and published it if I didn't think it would provide immense value for others.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I'm telling you right now, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna spoil the book for
Yeah.
anybody who or anyone for that matter who has not purchased it yet. Uh, Big Papa A will not spoil it for you, but I can tell you it is a great book. It is a must read. It's a great story and it's very personable. I can tell you all of that. Very, hey, how's it going, honey? How's it going? It's very personable. And again, I really don't want to spoil the book, but it's fantastic. And also, when you order it, I don't have the bag with me now, but when you order it, it's very personalized. The order, I received the book, and I also got mine autographed. Mr. Michael was kind enough to autograph the book for me. I'm not gonna let you read it because that's personal. All right. Obviously, you can reach out to Mike. You can possibly get yours autographed. But
Yes,
anyway,
absolutely.
so now that we're talking about the book, Mike, the last time you were on the channel, we spoke about you doing everything with BU and Prosper and how you were very busy and wrapped up in that. I want to know, and I think the people want to know too. You know, well, actually, you know what? I can't contain myself. Let's just start in your words. What is the book about?
It's about a guy who is married, he had a small child, he has a great job. Some would even say he's living the American dream. But deep down inside, he's still craving for more. It's for the person who has a dream, who dreams big, but also for the person who may have given up on their dreams or feeling as though their dream is holding on by a thread. And I'm, man, I don't want to give too much away, but all I can say is that you will definitely be moved. It will definitely hit your spirit in different ways. And I made the book a short read, but it's potent, rich, and just filled with so much wealth that every time you pick it up, you will gain something different from it.
Awesome. It's interesting you say that because when I received it, I was like, wow, okay, this is definitely going to be what you would consider a short read. But as I began reading the book, it's packed with so much detail and character. The book itself has character. Obviously, it has characters, but the book itself has character. That is, you're not speeding through it. You're actually, well, for me at least, I was making these connections with the characters and with the main character whose name is Jeff. I feel comfortable at least saying
Yeah,
that
yeah,
much.
absolutely. Yes, yes,
All right.
absolutely, yes. Jeff,
So
yes.
as I was reading the story of Jeff, like I said to you before in editing, I I felt like this really resonated with me. like I'm reading
Wow,
my life. And
wow.
I'm sure, and I'm sure anyone who reads this book is going to have some type of feeling like that, where it's like, wow, like it's very real, it's very relatable. And you, like, again, you made, like I see in the comments, quality over quantity, 100%, 100%.
Thank you, thank
You can see
you.
the comments on your end.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
perfect, perfect.
Thank you
So
so much for that comment.
with that, obviously, I want to know, and I think most people want to know, what was the inspiration. Now, we all know that you're busy with Be You and Prosper. We know that you're doing the motivational speaks. You're speaking to the young. You're speaking to the old. You're speaking to everybody. So, what was the motivation to say, hey, I want to sit down and write a book?
I think that for a while, people have asked me to write a book, and I kind of brushed it off.
Hmm.
And then during the pandemic, I think it changed everyone's life. And then everyone had nothing but time. And then I started jotting different ideas down, and then things started to develop more and more and more. And then I'm like, hold on, I think I have something here. I think I have something here. And during that time period, it just built more and more. And then I started putting a strategy behind it. Was like, I know a lot of people don't have a lot of time, and I and personally, I don't like a lot of fluff. A lot of books have fluff in it, and it's dry and boring. And that's something that I didn't. I made sure in my mind that it wasn't your typical boring, stale, dry self help book. I wanted to make it entertaining in a sense that, like how you indicated, that it was relatable. It felt real.
Yeah,
It
very.
felt like you could identify with the and characters in the book.
You know what? When you say that, because this book would fall into that category of self help. And when you said that, it made me think, like, this book would be, in my opinion,
Hmm.
like a cross like a great work of fiction, because obviously these characters are fictional. They may be based on real characters, but they're fictional characters. But the
Yeah.
story is very real, like a Rich Dad Poor Dad. Rich Dad Poor Dad
Mm.
is a great book. Anyone with any kind of business acumen, or any thoughts or hopes of going into business, I'm sure has come across the book or read it.
Yes.
So, with that being the case, that book for me, it doesn't fully hit all the way home.
Mm.
Like, I get the message behind the book, but in terms of relatability, first of all, Rich Dad Poor Dad, I ain't even having that. You know what I'm saying? So let's just be real here.
Hmm.
And I like that this book opens up that avenue for people like me. Where it's
Mm.
like, this is, because I'm trying not to go deep
Yes.
into the book, but
We can share a little bit here, and you can share a little bit here and there. I don't mind sharing a little here and there. I don't mind.
yeah. So in the book, Jeff is an accountant.
Yeah.
And that's
Hmm.
pretty much where the book starts. It's already settled. He's not. You don't watch his life grow up. You're here. You have the setting. You have the information, and then we go from there. So with that being the case, it's not like, oh, my dad did this, my dad did that. He already is who he is, and now he's making decisions based off where he is in life and where he wants to be in life. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that for a lot of people, when that switch finally flips in your life, that's kind of how it is. It doesn't really matter how you got to where you are now. It's about where you're going from here.
Yes, yes, yes. And it's funny that you say that because I think that we have been told this magical story and so this golden ticket that there's one way to do something. It's one way to do some. Just go to college and get your 4-year degree and go ahead and you move up the corporate ladder and then you retire after 30 years and get your gold watch. But I think that is antiquated system based on today's style of living and things of that sort. Because most people aren't living, or sorry, aren't working jobs in the same job for a long period of time. People are jumping from job to job, job to job, trying to find their footing. Identically to this book here, trying to find that footing. They have a dream, and it's like it feels so far away. It doesn't seem reality, and it's like, how can I have this here when my reality is telling me I have this here? It's almost like a dual reality. Like how can I balance it all? Can I truly have it all? And and I think this book is a great demonstration of what's possible out there.
Yeah. Those of you who are new to my channel, obviously, you don't know, but Mike and I, we met some years ago,
Hmm.
and probably not a place that when you think of the relationship that you and I share, you probably wouldn't think that we met where we met, and under those circumstances, we
Yes.
met actually working at a sports facility, a gym, if you would like to call it that.
Hmm.
And the first day I met Mike, we spoke for about, it was over an hour long,
I
and
was like,
I didn't know him. I didn't know him from a can of paint, but we spoke at great length, and I knew. I said, this guy's special.
well,
He has the right idea. His mind is, it's once it clicks, he's going to be great at whatever it is he chooses to do. And when I tell you that, I am
thank you.
so proud that you of everything that you do from the day that I met you and that you continue to do, because I know that this isn't the last book. you know I'm gonna have
Oh,
books on my bookshelf, because I
well,
do have a bookshelf. And for those of you out there that don't have a bookshelf, what are you doing? All right, you got to read. You got to read, and you got to stay hip to what's going on, and you know you know stay well rounded. But anyway, I digress. I want to know,
hmm
like, what was like the process of actually taking this idea and then making it physical? Because as I spoke to you before, I had hopes to one day actually write a book, but a lot
yes.
of the reservations and, I guess maybe the anxiety behind it is, how do you do that?
Mm,
Literally, how do you take what you have here, write it out, and then not only just write it out and have an audiobook, actually have a I bought this online and it
hmm
arrived at my house. I have a physical copy that anyone out there can get.
yes. At buimpossible.com/shop, you can get your copy right now.
Awesome. Yeah, I heard that. Please, by all means,
Let me
I'll
put it
give
in the
you.
chat.
Yeah,
Chat
put it in
bring-
put it in the chat,
Okay, put it in the chat.
because I'm telling you, this is a great book. It's one of those must-have for libraries, especially if you're not where you think you should be in life or where you want to be in life. And not saying that, oh, you're down and out. You might have a freaking nice car. You might have the newest Benz off the lot. But if you don't feel like you're happy, if you feel like you're missing something, then this book is for you. This book is for all those people out there. Oh wait, hold on. Let me why is this over here? Okay, hold on. I think I could put this into the chat. Hold on, because I see it, but I don't think they can see it. So I'm just gonna put it here for y'all to see.
Okay.
See if that works out. Can post messages to some channels. All right. So actually, it says the YouTube people can see it. The Facebook
It
people
popped
may
up as
not.
a yeah. It
Yeah.
popped up on the screen over here too.
Okay. So let us know if y'all can see that link and if you can click it and access it, and let us know if you can't. You see it perfect, perfect. All right, that's awesome. So yes, definitely again check out that link. You will get the book. I said I have mine. Make sure you get yours. So explain your writing process because obviously I speak to a lot of quote unquote black men. My channel is directed at quote unquote black men because the black man has fallen so far. And if
Yeah.
we really want to see change in the quote unquote black community, in my opinion, it is going to be up to the quote unquote black man to redeem himself and be a man. So, with that being said, people out there that are looking and like, oh, we get it, Dub, we get it, Mike. Mike's off the Mike's doing this and all that stuff. But what about me? How do I do it? How do I put the pen to the paper, literally and metaphorically? So, the people that want to be writers or are aspiring to write a book, um, explain to them your writing process because maybe they might have some hurdles that they're going through right now or struggles.
Well, I think that it's imperative to talk about the backstory a little bit because a lot of people see the right now. They don't know about yesterday. They don't. They just focus on right now. They don't know what happened previously. So let me give you a backstory about me real quick for those who don't know me. I was born 1 pound 8 ounces. I was 4 months premature. I I had a grade 4 brain bleed. The doctors told my parents I wasn't supposed to walk, talk, see, or hear.
Wow.
I was 12 inches long, the size of a ruler. If that didn't, to make matters worse, I would say that I had developed an infection, and then the doctors told my parents either the infection was going to kill me or the medicine would kill me. I was told that I wasn't going to graduate middle school and high school. I was told I had no chance of getting into college. I beat those odds. I got into a 4 year college. I got kicked out my first college for 0.5 GPA. I went to a different college. The college told me no, but my persistence and hustle and determination told me to call up the school and get a meeting with them. I met with the woman. She loved me. She said that the decision was up to her. It was up to the committee, and I was able to get into the school. And then I had my journeys for several years after graduating college. Like I said, everyone thinks that it's your golden ticket. It's your golden ticket that you'll get the good, secure corporate job and you'll move up the ladder and things of that sort. For me, that wasn't my case. I went several years about getting a job, and I have a college degree. I always had the entrepreneurial spirit. I knew since I was 8 years old I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I sold candy, CDs, pencils, pens. My classmates. I I always knew how to make a dollar. I always knew how to make a dollar. My my friends would call me Money Mike growing up. So now, so after graduating college, I used the money I started. I used the money I received my family from graduating college. I said, let me start my business. Man, I'm thinking I'm gonna end up like Bill Gates, do my thing, living life, living large. No, that didn't happen at all. I started a women's empowerment company called Love and Dog Herself, aka Lady, selling t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, and all that. But that crashed and burned. It lasted over a few years. It crashed and burned. And my mistake is one reason of being yourself and being confident who you are is that I tried to be like my brother. He likes fashion. He was able to draw and all that. Me, I can't draw my way with a paper bag. So so I'm like, okay, this here, it was a great experience. However, it wasn't authentically me. And it was important for the business that I decided to start that it aligned to who I was and what were my God given gifts, talents, and principles, and dream and make sure everything aligned and come together. And then I had my hurdles. Um, Now, I finally got that good corporate job. You know, everything's going good. I got that shot. I get that 401k. Everything's going well. Everything's going great. Everything's going great. Until it was 1 week before Thanksgiving, I got a call from the chief operating officer who told me today's the last day due to budget cuts. And I remember being on the train thinking to myself, this can't be life. Like, I have a degree. I was never late. My reviews were above average. And I'm like, something doesn't sit right. I remember people preaching to me all the time. Once you do your 90 days, you're good. You're
Mhm.
good. You're safe. I did that. But no one told me about budget cuts. No one told me about budget cuts. No,
No
people
one
left
told
that
me
part of the
about push.
story out. and and then I just felt myself in a whirlwind of different jobs. I was a janitor. I was picking up trash uh, in 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 apartment complexes, making $10 an hour for 20 hours a week. Uh, but I always had the hustle spirit, and then that's one thing that I noticed that people struggle with. Many people abandon their dreams based on their current situations, and I pride myself on dreaming big, and that was a big component of why I'm here too. The ability to dream, despite what my reality told me. Despite what reality told me, I had to dream big because it costs nothing to dream. So why not dream big? And so now let me put a past point to the book. So so I started thinking of ideas, jotting ideas down, and then I said, okay, I have a plot, I have a sum.
Oh, what just happened there? Hold on, y'all. Seems like we lost him for a second. I'm gonna get him back. I'm gonna get him back. He's here. He's here. Y'all still with me in the comments? Y'all still with me? Got him back.
I'm here, I'm here, I'm here.
All right, good, good, good.
Yes. So I had uh, I came up with the summary, the premise, everything of that sort. Then I started writing ideas down, and it was important for me to have a focus because a lot of times when we have 1,001 ideas, we can get sidetracked and things like that. If you're writing the book, it's important to have a laser focus on what you want the outcome to be. And one thing I told myself that the book doesn't have to be long. And I think that a lot of aspiring writers and authors think that they have to have this 300-page book and things of that sort. And then what told me that I knew that a short read could work was there was this business book that's called Who Moved My Keys. And that book isn't very long at all. It's not long read at all, but it's one of the top business books out there. So that did told me to go, okay, all right, so I can do some. I can definitely have something there. And also too, like this is mine. Like this is your book. You can decide whether you want it to be 200 pages, 100 pages, 50 pages. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. When you feel like the story is complete, move on. And then I've learned the importance of understanding what you don't know, and not and don't be afraid to. get outside help because there's only so much you can do by yourself. And I started searching the internet, using different resources like Fiverr for getting the book edited. That's one part of it. Then there's a format process. Then you gotta get the book cover for the book and things like so there's a whole process behind it. So I started doing those steps little by little by little by little, and then there's a copyright process of getting your book copyrighted through the U.S. government. So that's a process right in itself, but understand that nothing happens overnight, and little by little you start to have something, and then so once I started completing one thing, I started checking off. Okay, I did this here, did this here, did this here. Next thing you know, I had the completion of the book. I was able to publish, like I said. I found a website that was able to do the paperbacks. I found someone to be able what to format it. I got the book formats for a digital download for the ebook. So I had to make sure like okay, I can play to both sides. Some people still want the book, the hardcover book, the paperback book where
Hmm.
turn page and things of that sort. And then you have a collection of people who would like the digital download on their phone where they can just read right from their phone.
Yeah, agreed. I'm a old school
I
type.
hope I hope I answered your question.
No,
I
no,
answered.
for sure, you definitely did. I think that you gave a lot of uh, author hopefuls out there a lot of ammunition. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna piggyback off of that a little bit, if you don't mind.
Mhm.
Uh, for those of you who know, I'm a musician, and I wasn't always a musician. Just like Michael wasn't always an author. And sometimes people ask me, oh my God, how you write a song? You wrote a song? How you do this? You have your songs on Spotify? I'm not going to downplay what I do or what any artist does or what any person does. But what I will say is this: it starts with putting the pen to the paper. If you never put that pen to the paper, I can guarantee you no book will ever get written. No song will
Mhm.
ever get written. So once you put the pen to the paper, you'll be surprised what you write. You may have an idea, but once that pen starts writing and all those ideas start coming, you will be wholly surprised on what comes out from you. So, like again, I said to piggyback off what Mike said, you gotta just start. You just
Yes.
start. And again, if you don't know how to write a book, how long should it be? How short should it be? Like even when I first started writing songs, again, how long should it be? How short should it be? Should I have two choruses, three choruses? Should I repeat the chorus? Should I have the chorus hit? All these things. Do what you believe is best. If
Yes.
it sounds
Yes.
good to you and you're satisfied with that, then that's it. Be cool with that. Like I'm sure you are, Mike, that you put it all in this book
Yes.
and you're
Yes.
100% cool with that
Yes.
because you're being you, and by doing so you are prospering.
And one thing that I definitely want to add is that you have to learn to be your own cheerleader because during that process can be very tedious and very daunting and frustrating. You'll have your ups and downs and things of that sort. And if you don't believe in yourself, you are already lost. You have already lost if you don't believe in yourself. You has to know that it's gonna work out. And then one thing I know for sure, and I know that you can attest to this as well too, is you can't be afraid to invest in yourself. Like I have never met anyone who has invested in themselves and have lost.
I
You
can't. I don't know anyone like that either.
you really has to really see like almost like you have to bank on yourself and you have to ask yourself, are you putting more deposits in or are you doing more withdrawals? And if you're not putting those deposits in, then that could be a problem. And then someone would say, Mike, I don't have any money. I don't have any money to necessarily invest. financially. I completely understand. I've been there before, but there's other resources and different areas that you can go to that can help you solve that problem until you you have the finances to really invest in yourself. Go to YouTube University. That's what I call it. You can find anything on YouTube.
Yeah,
There's free books out there. There's podcasts. There's so many outlets and platforms that you can use until you have money that you can invest in yourself. And and honestly, whether it's free or financially, you're investing in, you're still putting skin in the game.
agreed, man. Agreed. And honestly, I see a lot in the people that I speak to. The brothers that I speak to. It's a lot of them lack that. They're not investing in themselves. They're too
Mm-hmm.
busy worrying about everyone else and trying to invest in other people, in other people's ideas. But sometimes, like they say, you have to pour into your own glass. Especially if you're for the men out there. Again, my channel is directed to quote unquote black men, so that's always where I'm geared to for the newcomers. So for the men, if you are going to call yourself a man, you have to understand sometimes it's okay to be selfish. That's something, a lesson that I learned, and because you're taught to be selfless all the time, be giving and stuff like that. But then you find yourself to feel empty sometimes because
Mm-hmm.
you're always just giving and giving and giving, but you never give yourself. And it's sad that a lot of people are out there still like that. But I believe that through works like yours in his book, works like outside of your book, what you do with BU and Prosper, works like this podcast, all the videos that I make, it goes a long way because there's many, many messages
Mm-hmm.
that you have that I have. For those of you who don't follow Mike on social media, he
Yes.
has, and I love it. It's like these very quick, inspirational. Like, you can't even call it a speech. It's so quick. It's right when it starts, and you get it, it's like wow, it's over. But that message sticks with you all day.
Mm.
So definitely check out his. I know it's
Twitter
on
page.
Facebook. It's on
Twitter.
Twitter and it's on YouTube as well. I saw it.
I'll put links in there, things like that at the end. I'll put the links in there, everything,
Yeah,
how people can follow me, stuff like that at the end.
definitely,
But
definitely. Because I obviously I follow him. I follow
mm-hmm.
him, and like I said, a lot of the messages, they're different, but they resonate and they give you food for thought. You know, Man, you're being definitely inspiring. Yeah, well, he's an inspiration. He is definitely an
Thank you.
inspiration, and that is why I'm blessed to have him as a guest on this show. Because I know that again, I speak to people all the time, and they always give me excuses, excuses after excuses. But you, someone that what I would say has a bag full of excuses that you could just throw out whenever you want. I've never ever heard an excuse from you, not even when we worked together
Mm-hmm.
in corporate America. Never heard an excuse from you at all. So speak on that. Speak on the mindset of not making excuses, especially from someone like again from the outside perspective. Everyone that's listening to your story would say, "Wow, if he wanted to, he could have thrown in the bag at birth." You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
yeah, go speak on that,
I
please.
was definitely counted out before I even took my first step too. I didn't take my first step, I was already counted out. And I've just realized that so many people have allowed their circumstances to get the best of them and they forget that it's temporary. It's temporary. It's all about changing your mindset, really changing your mindset. I know that's often said a lot, but there's a lot of truth in that. And you have to go through almost a process and reprogramming your mindset to really see things better, really, really see things better. And understand your circle is a big part of your mindset as well too, and not just your friends, but what are you reading, what are you listening to, what are you consuming on these different platforms, things of that sort. And you really gotta warn it at the end of the day, either you're gonna get it or you're not gonna get it, and you have to go for it. And as my dad always tells me all the time, that you're only getting older. Like as time ticks, Time isn't like we think that we have all this time in the world, but if you're in your 20s, you have that youth time to get it going, things of that sort, and then you don't have any ailments and things of that sort, and start building and building, and know that it's not going to happen usually when you want it to, and you guys understand the process, and and that can be uncomfortable. But what are you going to do when you hit that roadblock? And I think that's what you're talking about, is that roadblock where so many of us get stuck and become paralyzed when we come across our first barrier. But sometimes God is testing you to see how bad you really want it. How bad do you really want what you say you want? Are you willing to go through the fire to get what you want? Or is it just cool to say amongst friends and family and things of that sort? And it's tough, but anything worth having doesn't happen overnight. And, and you gotta be willing to dedicate yourself and truly commit to it. And and there's gonna be times where people are going to look at you crazy. There's a time to be selfish, as you said. There's a time to be selfish. There's a season to be selfish. It's okay to be selfish sometimes. You can't pour from an empty cup, and and there's only so much. If if you're constantly pouring, and you're not getting anything in return, you're you're definitely useful to no one. And I think a lot of us are very guilty of this here, of believing everyone can go with you. Everyone can't go with you. Everyone can't go with you. You don't realize that as much time as you're investing your energy and time into getting people to come with you, you are exhausting yourself. And you have no time for you, have no energy for you to pursue what you want. And like everyone can't go with you. You have to be okay with that. Everyone, everyone isn't worthy of going on on your journey with you, going on a train with you. Like there's a stop. Like everyone can't go from the beginning to the end with you, and you have to be okay with it. You have to be okay with that.
Agreed, man. Agreed. That's some hot fire for y'all. That's some super hot fire he's dropping right now. So, like I said, we've been live for 37 minutes. How many of y'all bought a book in that time? What are y'all waiting for? He's got chicken McNuggets flying out here, man. Y'all gotta sink or swim. Sink or
And then,
swim.
can I talk about the title for a minute? The
Yes.
title.
I'm gonna hold this up so they can see.
So, let's see. Sink or swim. Are you watching dreams away? The title. I chose that because I began to think how so many people, like at our job, how many people did we see at our job say they had dreams to do X, Y, and Z, and then they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything. They didn't do anything. I know different jobs I had from working as a cashier, ShopRite. I remember this one story real quick that I remember working at ShopRite for a short time, and then I remember asking. I was there. I wasn't there very long, and I remember asking a couple of co-workers how long they had been there for. Some said 2 years, 5 years, but there was one that definitely stuck out to me the most was a manager. He said he had been there for 30 years. He started at 16 years old, and I began to think like, did he have any other dreams and aspirations in his life that he did not pursue, and was he holding on to it? And also at the job, I remember having a conversation with another coworker. I remember telling her I wasn't going to be here long. Like I said, always dream big. Although I wasn't there at that moment, I knew I wasn't going to be there for a long time. I knew I wasn't a permanent place for me. And then she said, Mike, everyone leaves. She told me that everyone says that, but no one leaves. Like no one leaves that place. I'm like, no one leaves. She had been there for like 3, 4 years or something like that. I'm like, I can't be caught with this disease here. I can't be caught with this disease. I got to be out here.
I got
I
to be
can't be part of it. I can't be part of it. I can't be part of it. And and then that was a big reason why I started thinking of sink or swim. How many people are drowning every day with these ideas and dreams and visions that they're sitting on and they're not doing anything with them. I think sometimes we think we want everything to be huge and and jump and jump to that next career wherever it may be. It may not be a business. You may want to go a whole new career. And sometimes we get caught up in that big picture sometimes and we don't appreciate the small steps. Like I always say that baby steps are important. Baby steps still count. Baby steps are still steps. Like it's still steps. Like we can't discount those. And it's those small wins that and you start compounding those small wins, and then you can get where you want to go. I think sometimes we get caught up in that big picture, and then the people around us saying, "Oh, you can't leave. You
yeah.
can't do this here."
Yeah, no, that's true a lot because, like you said, I have similar stories. I've worked with people, and I've asked them how long you've been here, and I turn to find out these people have degrees in, like accounting, degrees in psychology,
Yes.
degrees in what's that thing called? All different types of degrees.
Hmm.
Like you'd be surprised the people that you come across working someplace with a degree. Like, whoa, like that? What are you doing here? But these people, they become complacent,
Hmm.
and then they stay. No one around them is really leaving. It gets comfortable for them.
Yep.
And if you want change, like you said before, I'm just reiterating, if you want change in life, it starts with you. You're gonna have to feel uncomfortable. You don't think that a caterpillar feels uncomfortable when he's in that cocoon, when he's bursting through that motherfucker? Excuse my language, but you don't think that's uncomfortable? I'm sure it is. He's literally breaking through an exoskeleton.
Hmm.
It has to be painful. So you're not going to achieve anything that you really want in life if you're looking for comfort all the time.
Hmm.
You're just going to remain placid, placid like a still lake. Sometimes you have to disrupt that if you want change. You're going to have to be the wave that you wish to ride.
Absolutely. Facts. Absolutely. And I just think that at some point you gotta make a choice. At some point you gotta make a choice. And like, do I want better? Do I deserve better? And understand that it's okay not to settle. Like you should never settle. You should not settle just because everyone else is settling. Doesn't mean you have to be part of that party. Like you can do your own thing. You can do your own thing and change the generation after you and things of that sort. Like, but it, but it all starts and ends with you.
Yes, yes. Honestly, man, I am my hardest critic
Hmm.
because, and some people I get it, they say, "Oh, why you look too harsh?" But no, like for instance, like the guy in your past, the manager at Shoprite,
Hmm.
30 years at Shoprite, and you know what I love about what you said? He didn't have any dreams. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
You didn't have
Hmm.
no dreams. 30 years. In my eyes, in my opinion, nothing personal. No disrespect to that guy,
Hmm.
but he's a loser. This life has so much to offer. This country has so much opportunity. And you mean to tell me that that was your dream? If it was his dream, then he's not a loser.
Hmm. And then
But
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead,
but
go
if he
ahead.
had dreams, then he's a loser. Because you have to, like you said, dreams are free. Dream big. And don't be afraid to chase your dreams. Because if not, you'll wind up 30 years in the same place, looking back, saying, well, I really wanted to do this. I really wanted to do that, and being unhappy with yourself. Obviously, you and I are roughly around the same age. So, and obviously, you and I are very much alike. where I don't see that being the future for us. We're
Mm-hmm.
gonna look back and say, oh, well, I wish I would have stayed at that job for 30 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
I don't think, I think it's safe to say, and I don't want to speak on behalf of you, but I don't think that's the conversation we're gonna have in 20 years. Like, you know what, Mike, we probably should have stayed at that one company where we met each other at. You know what I mean?
yeah.
No, because
Mm.
even through all the failures, and that's what I think people's hurdle is, the fear of failure.
Yes, yes.
You cannot be afraid to fail. Like, everyone for the most part knows how to ride a bike, but you fell at some point, but you got back up on that bike and you decided to ride. Now, why was that? Because you wanted to do it. You genuinely
Mm-hmm.
wanted to ride that bike. Now, you have to genuinely want what it is that you say you want, and maybe you don't know exactly what it is that you want. Like Mike, you found your calling for all intents and purposes, but a lot of people out there, they know what they're doing isn't what they want, but they don't know what they
Yes,
want to do.
yes,
So I'm
yes,
speaking to those people right now.
yes, yes, yes.
It's okay to strike out and try different
Mm-hmm.
things. Like Mike said, he tried the whole lady business, and someone dropped in the comments they still have the apparel from that lady business. So I mean, it had to be quality stuff. But I digress. So he said that wasn't him being him, and that's fine. He tried that, found out, hey, that's not me. That's not me. And then he said, you know what? I'm going to do something that's me. And he found that. But if had he never tried that lady business, he would not be where he is. So that
Mm-hmm.
failure and all the other failures that he spoke of set him up for where he's today and where he's going to be in the future.
And I just think that so many of us, when we hear these negative ideas and they become truths for us. Like I remember when I was in sixth or seventh grade, my teacher called me dumb. I
Wow.
remember that. I remember that. He remember called me dumb. It was my mechanical drawing class. I could call his name out, but that's beside the point though. But and then I remember I had another teacher who suggested I go to vocational school. I was in sixth grade. He suggested I go to vocational school. Nothing wrong with vocational school. Nothing wrong with that. That's important. That's needed. But for me, I knew that's not my strength. That God didn't bless me with the ability to work with my hands in terms of doing welding or HVAC or working mechanic and things like that. That wasn't my gift that He had blessed me with. And you really have to truly tap into yourself and spend that time and discover what you like, what you don't like. Find out what are those natural God given gifts and talents that you have. And then if you don't know what they are, that's okay. Ask three people you know and trust and who know you the best and figure out too, like also what am I interested in? What am I interested in? Can that talent connect? Can that talent connect and make sure they align? Then you can then you realize, okay, I might have something here, I might have something here. Like for instance, I love basketball, but I knew I couldn't go to NBA. But you know what? There's other alternatives to that. Whether it be I could have you there's you you can become an executive, you could become a manager, wherever maybe there's other alternatives, although you might not be a player, you're still part of the NBA in some capacity. And I think a lot of us get discouraged when we don't get that ideal dream in the beginning. Some people are blessed with that ability, and some people are not. But it doesn't mean that the show is over. You just gotta continue to keep pushing forward and figuring out what works for you. What works for you. And I think that we live in a popularity contest because with social media going on, we see everyone is doing something, everyone automatically gravitates to that. But is that congruent to you? Is it aligned to who you are? Does it make sense? And I think that so many of us are afraid to enter into these arenas because it may not be popular, because it doesn't get the glitz and the glamour like every other field does. but you could do well in that particular field because that fits your DNA, it fits who you are, rather than always trying to struggle and be frustrated and bumping your head. And
Yeah,
and I think that's a lot of people at jobs now too. They are jobs because they were told to do it, and it's just very interesting the time that we live in, that we can get caught up in the hamster wheel of doing what everyone else is doing.
I agree. For those of y'all just tuning in, obviously this is Double A Have on the True Scope, and I have a special guest here, Michael Peeples, self-published author of Sink or Swim.
Yes,
Great,
get your
great
copy
book.
now. Get your copy now. I guarantee that, and I promise your listeners that I'm not going to waste your time. I'm not going to waste your time. I don't like my time wasted. So I'm not going to waste your time by investing in this piece of literature here that you'll be thoroughly impressed and just get a wealth of information. I touch on relationships, investing in yourself, mindset, focus, just a bevy of topics. And like I like I indicated earlier, that it's a short read. I I know the value of time. People don't have a lot of time, but it's a quick read, but potent and dynamic and rich, where that it will force you to read again because you might have missed it because it was so packed.
Yeah,
And
agreed.
I know that you experienced that as well.
Yeah, I can say that from experience, from my personal experience. The book again is packed. It is packed, and it's definitely like I said before. It looks like a quick read, but unless you mean reading it several times quickly, then I wouldn't call it a quick read because it's very deep, and there's a couple messages in the book. There's obviously the plot, there's subplot, there's a lot going on in that book. So again, I'm not trying to spoil it for anybody, but you can purchase the book by
Yes. At beyourandprosper.com/shop. And I have the ebook for those who want it on their phone or tablet. And I have the paperback as well.
awesome, 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 all great stuff. So before we switch gears into the ending of all this great stuff, because everyone has things to do, and we so totally appreciate you taking time out of your day to tune into this special
Yeah,
episode of
yeah,
the Truth
yes.
Go. I would like to leave the floor for you. If you have any closing remarks, any closing messages to the people of the world and the people in the comments right now watching us.
I would say truly believe in yourself. Understand, don't sell yourself short, because when you sell yourself short, you are already defeated. You you already have one strike against you already, and you have to have that confidence within yourself to understand that you are worthy of doing what you want to pursue. And like I said, just make sure it makes sense. Make sure you have all. Make sure everything is aligned to who you are, and don't get caught up in the rat race of doing what everyone else is doing if that isn't your lane.
Exactly. So pretty much what he's saying is be you and prosper.
Yep.
All right. So hey, I said it before. I'll say it again. You are always welcome on this show.
Thank you.
You are my brother. I said it from day one when I met you, man.
Like,
There's something about you, and I can't wait to see what else great comes from you. I would like to give a special thank you to you, obviously, again, Mike, and all the people who tuned in and who will tune in to watch this. Everyone that
yes.
was in the comments, congratulating
Thank you.
you on your new release, and all the people that will buy your book. Uh, you know what, guys? Life is what you make it. And like he said, we are all gifted by the Most High. And ultimately, it's up to us to figure out what that gift is. All right?
Yeah.
So those are
Yes.
my closing remarks. I love y'all. Love all y'all. Peace.